I walk through this forest, this weird looking forest. The trees are all crooked and misshapen. The dirt gives off the smell of fresh mud from a rain not too long ago. I walk along this muddy gravel trail leading into this odd forest. The scent in the air is growing stronger, and I get closer to this taller and older looking tree. It reeks of spring dew and pine needles. So I reach my hand out to investigate this tree, and I touch the bark, and it breaks off into my hand. Suddenly, I hear rustling in the bushes behind me. I quickly turn around to see what was making that noise, but I only saw a glance of it. It had white dots on its back. I return to the bark and put the bark on the tree in its perfect shape. But I look down to see it turns into squirming worms. Obviously, I throw them onto the ground because I fear worms. They look so gross and slimy. I hate it. Then I heard the bushes rustling again. So I quickly turned back around, and a deer appeared in front of my eyes. Its antlers had to be the width of a car. So majestic, so satisfying to observe. And before I could pull out my phone and hit the record button, I heard a voice coming from it. It was coming from right in front of me. You there. I, the forest spirit, forbid you from coming to these lands. Your people have done enough over the years. The deer's mouth wasn't moving, but I knew it was speaking to me. And before I could even get a word out, spirit disappeared. Suddenly the atmosphere felt heavy on my chest, and a cold breeze rolled down my spine and through the air. I knew I had to get out of there. Wherever here was. In fact, I didn't even know where I was. I checked my phone for the map, but it was an unknown place. I mean, for sure I was on Earth, but it was all overgrown. What even happened? Is this even reality? Or am I dreaming? I had to be. For sure I was. I just needed to find a way to wake myself up. Somehow.
I seen a tornado warning on TV and on my phone, but I ignored it, because every other time, nothing happened. Later on that day, I was driving my car to Walmart to get some snacks, and everything was good until I was driving back home, and another notification popped up on my phone. So I looked at my phone, and I looked at the road. There was a huge tornado. Then I said, it's getting closer, closer. I seen a tunnel nearby, so I turned my car back and I pushed the pedal as hard as I can, and I'm going 120. But then my car started to make a noise. It was boom, 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 boom. And then went slower until it wasn't moving at all. I jumped out of the car and I started running. But no matter how fast I run, I knew it was going to get me. So I look back, and it's even closer. And then I hear a car coming. It got closer, and it picked me up. And then we're driving as fast as the car could go. And we're about to go under an overpass, and then the earth starts to shake. The overpass crumbles. The driver stomped on the brakes, and we both hopped out and run and jump into a ditch. And the tornado just turns away. Huh.
Have you ever heard of this story called The Tale of How the Hoof Lady Came to Be? Anyone? Well, let me tell you. There was this clique of about 3 girls. They were in their 20s, and one of them, the leader, named Lynette, was pregnant. They kept picking on the same girl, Bessie, every day, calling her a witch because she dressed mostly in black. One day, Bessie had enough and figured, why not spit a curse and see what happens, since they call her a witch anyways. She spit out, I'm a witch, I'm a witch. So here I cast my powerful spell on Lynette to have a baby goat. 4 months later, Lynette had a baby who turned out to be half human and half goat. Disgraced by how the baby turned out, Lynette gave the baby away to an old couple who lived secluded in the woods. They didn't mind having a deformed baby because they were outcast themselves and who were also referred to as witches. The baby grew up to be very angry and jealous of the other kids in town who were normal and still had their biological parents. So every now and again, a child would wander into the woods. And if she caught a child in her woods around midnight, as that is the only time that she went out, she would eat that wandering child. One night, another child had gone missing. The townspeople figured maybe they had wandered into the woods. As they started searching the woods around midnight, they heard a light scream, "Ah!" As they got closer, they heard hooves. Running away as they found her half-eaten child laying on top of some crunchy leaves on the cold, hard ground. The townspeople later gathered a group of men to go hunting for the woman that they all referred to as the Hoof Lady. They even checked out the old couple's house who had adopted her, and all they found were bones, as they had been eaten also. Until this day, the Hoof Lady has never been captured, but the hunters say they've always gotten close enough to hear the hooves, but never close enough to see the beast. As I finished telling my story, we heard a sound in the distance. It sounded like hoofs running towards us. As it was getting closer, we could see a figure that looked half human and half goat. So we ran for our lives.
Hi, my name is Bobby, and I'm going to tell you a story. It was a perfect day, not a cloud in the sky, and I went to work and started replacing a part on a guillotine. It was made of metal, and the blade was made of stainless steel. I tied the rope down and started welding. I started by taking the hook off the top of the blade to add a new one, so I put the new one on, and then I started working on the lunette. I put my arm through the hole to see how wide it is. And then, within a split second, the hook snapped and the blade fell, and all I heard were sounds of tearing flesh, but the blade didn't go through the bone. It bounced, and then it went through. It was so painful. All I smelt was fresh blood and the sound of metal clanking. My left arm was cold. I was disoriented. I wanted to sleep, but I knew I shouldn't. I lost way too much blood. I tried my hardest to stay awake, so I crawled. But every time I moved, my blood shot out like a water gun. Then I got to my tools, my welding tools, and I bit down onto my shirt. And I started cauterizing my arm. Then I used my shirt as a bandage. Then I grabbed my phone. I called an ambulance. But as I'm sitting there talking to the operator, there was a committee of vultures on a tree just staring at my arm by the metallic guillotine. They smelt the fresh blood.
Hey. Hey, you. Yes, you there. I said, come here. Have you heard? What do you mean you haven't heard? OMG, like, have you been living under a rock or something? So, you know Sandra, right? Anyways, I hear she's pregnant. Yeah, pregnant, I know. Crazy, right? And do you want to know whose it is? Okay, so supposedly it's her friend's boyfriend's baby. Her best friend, Abby, didn't even know that her boyfriend was sleeping with her best friend. Isn't that crazy? Abby only found out because the three of them were at a party last weekend and she saw them all over each other, if you know what I mean. But when Abby found out, she went crazy and ended up sleeping with Sandra's older brother, who, BTW, has a girlfriend. So, of course, Sandra was pissed off, so she decided to keep the baby. So her and her best friend's boyfriend can raise it together. I know, it's crazy. But you can't tell anyone I told you this, okay? We can make this our little secret. Now, get out of here. But remember, I didn't tell you anything. Nothing at all. This is our little secret. I can't believe that really happened. I mean, it was a stupid thing for Sandra to do, and it was her own mistake. Then why do I feel so bad for her? At least, I think it's because she tried to get pregnant. She didn't try, not like she tried to get pregnant, but I'm kind of proud of her because she wants to take care of the baby. She wants to try. Then I feel bad for Abby because Sandra was her best friend and she cared deeply for her. At least, I think she cared for her. You know, I think this is a very messy situation, and it's not my life or my problem. As long as no one knows, I told that girl their secret. I should be fine, right? But what if she tells someone that it was me who told her? No, she wouldn't do that. At least, I don't think she would, right? Oh my God. What if she does? What if she tells someone and they tell someone else? Then everyone will know their secret. And it would be all my fault. I might get my ass beat. Shit. I really hope she doesn't tell anyone that I told her. I really should stop telling other people's secrets. Who am I kidding? I'm not gonna stop. It's what I do. I just hope she's going to keep our little secret.
I was driving to my friend's vacation house deep in the forest, and my car breaks down. So I call my friend. But there was no service, and barely anyone comes down this way, so I just sit in my car for a while, and I end up falling asleep. So it's nighttime, and still no one came. And I can't walk back because it was like a 2-hour drive. So, to walk it will take a while. So I wait until morning. And I'm surprised that no one has showed up. But I know my friend should have called someone. But when I wake up in the morning and start walking back, and after a while, the road has 2 turns. So I go to the left, the way I got there. And I keep walking for about 30 minutes. And I'm starving. And then I see a giant grizzly bear. The biggest bear I've ever seen. It doesn't see me yet, so I hide and I panic because it's so big. It could attack me. And it starts walking towards me. And then it sees me. And I start running. And it's chasing me. And I hear it running. And I hear it getting closer. And right when it's going to get me, I run down a hill, but I slip. And I roll down the hill. And I fall into a quarry filled with water. And it was like a 50-foot drop. And when I land in the water and I swim back up, I look for somewhere to climb up. And when I get back on the ground, I continue walking. But I'm scared to find the bear. So I was thinking while walking, what kind of bear it was, because it was the biggest animal I've ever seen. So I walked for a while. It felt like hours. And I was in one of the biggest forests in the world, but it shouldn't have taken me this long. It started to get dark, and I was freezing because my clothes were still damp. And it was only like 15 degrees. And all I could think about was that bear. And I knew someone would find me soon because they had to be looking for me, right? I mean, they should have found my car. And then I feel drops landing on me. So I had to make a shelter. So I sat under a broken tree that had fallen. It would keep me kind of dry. And I was up the whole night, freezing. I felt like I was going to die. And I started walking when the rain stopped. But it was muddy and everything was wet. And then my heart dropped. I saw the bear. It was the same one I had seen before. It was tracking me the whole time. I don't know why it wanted me so bad. It hadn't seen me yet, so I hid at the tree. And I made a run for it, and the bear noticed me only after I'd been running. And then it chased me. And then I found a road, and I ran it down until I found a truck. Then I asked for help, and he drove me to the police station. And when I told him what had happened, the police told me that they already found the bear, and they had stopped it. And I felt so lucky to be alive.
I'm in a forest. There's tall trees, short trees, little bushes, birds chirping, branches crackling. I hear waves crashing in the back. The temperature is perfect. The wind is warm. I love this weather and this forest and Mother Nature. And while I was just looking around, appreciating this beautiful land, I saw this tree I felt really attracted to. So I walk over to examine it. It has very beautiful leaves and bark and moss hanging off of it, growing all over the tree. It looks pretty, and it seemed to be one of the tallest. Then all of a sudden, my hand feels like a magnet, and it smacks onto the tree, as if the tree pulled it itself. There's a weird shock in my hand, which causes it to immediately retract from the tree. But now, I have something in my hand. It's like there's a bluish, teal, crystal-like object with a swirl going around the center. I'm not sure what it's for or how it was given to me or why. I'm standing facing the tree, but then I begin to feel watched. I turn around. I see nothing, nobody. I turn to face the tree again, but I still feel eyes on me. I didn't feel comfortable anymore, so I decided to go back home and began walking in the direction of my house. And as I'm walking, I hear some footsteps from behind me. So I quickly turn around and I see a tail. I can't tell what type of animal it was. Then I quickly turn around and I shockingly feel a tingle in my hand. I look down and I see the crystal glowing. It was like it was trying to tell me something. So because of the crystal, I ran back to the tree to find out what had been watching me. And the animal was unlike something I had ever seen before. Unlike any other creature. It had beautiful colors, pretty eyes, a cute face, but scary teeth, almost resembling a fox. I tried getting a little closer, but it showed me his teeth, and it scared me a bit. So I stepped back to give it some peace, some space. I sat on the rock, hoping it would approach me itself, which it did. I put my hand out, and the animal rubbed up against my hand to let me know that we were good. So I'm in this beautiful place. I'm feeling really peaceful. And then I start playing with the animal. I could feel a sudden switch in its behavior. The energy felt off. I should probably mention now that I knew that this animal must have been a female. Anyways, back to the story. The animal took interest in the object I had and started sniffing and licking and biting my hand, but in a more playful manner. So we played. Rolling on the ground, running in circles, playing fetch. This creature is really smart. And after a while of playing, it was time for me to go home. So she started following me. And I felt a bit strange, so I tried shooing her away. Go back home now. She just sits there looking at me. I turned back around because I needed to go before the sun fully set. And I had almost reached the opening back out to the bike path, which is the route I take to go back home. And she just popped out of the bushes. Just sat there staring at me like she was waiting for me to do something. I wasn't exactly sure what she wanted from me, so I offered the crystal object. Her eyes lit up. So I left it on the ground for her, but then she just pushed it back to me and turned around like she was scared or worried. All of a sudden, she was gone. Just disappeared into thin air. Literally. Then, boom! I wake up to find my baby sister climbing all over me, on top of me, trying to wake me up to show me what she had just found. It was a bluish teal, crystal-like object. Swirl going around the center. Oh.
I was born on May 16th, 1963. My name is Robert Fox Jr., but my friends call me RJ for short. I'm 15 years old, and today is Tuesday, May 16th, 1978. I live in North Bergen, New Jersey. Not the safest place, but it's home, and this is my story. It was a Monday morning. I got up, showed up to school, late like usual. I get to class midway through, second period, and sat down.
Do you have a late slip, Mr. Fox?
Yeah, I left it on your desk.
You gotta stop being late, you're falling behind.
Geez, you don't gotta tell it the whole class, I thought to myself. My teacher, Mr. Anderson, would always give me talks about how I gotta stop being late. I turned to my friend Rabbit and greet him. What's up, Rabbit? He turns to me and leaned in.
Hey, man. You want to know what I found in my old man's safe?
I grew with curiosity. What did you find?
All right. So yesterday, my dad went to work, right? So I snuck in his room and opened his safe to take some cash to go to the store. But when I opened it up, there wasn't any cash. But there was a pistol.
No way. What kind?
It looked like a Glock 34.
Cool.
Yeah. You want to ditch school with Devin and Gibby and try it out?
I don't know, man. Will your dad notice that there's bullets missing?
Nah, he won't. He never uses it.
All right, let's do it. After that conversation, I remember waking up to Rabbit, shaking me. When I woke up, I got up right away, met with Devin and Gibby in the bathroom, and went out the chapel doors because there was no staff there. Once we got out, we started walking to Rabbit's dad's house. Once we got there, We went to the backyard to his window and crawled in. We all chilled in Rabbit's room for about 5 minutes. Then he walks in with a black gun safe. We all crowded around him as he puts in the code for the safe. When it opens, all of our eyes lit up. None of us had ever seen a gun in person shot or even held one.
No way!
Gibby shouts. Rabbit carefully picks up the gun and points it at his wall and pretends to shoot it. Man, the day someone crosses me, let me see it. Rabbit hands me the gun. Holding that gun made me feel powerful. A kind of power I imagine a villain would feel in a comic book. This is awesome, I say, as I hand it to Gibby and Devin to look at. And when we were all done examining the gun, we put it in my backpack with some bullets and magazines, and we walked to the train bridge. When we got there, I gave Rabbit the gun, and we loaded it up carefully. And when it was ready, Rabbit looked at us and asked us,
You's ready?
Hell yeah! Now, hurry and shoot the thing, I want to try.
Shut up and wait your turn.
Rabbit points the gun at the water and fires off 2 shots.
Damn, that's strong.
Then Devin and Gibby took their turns, and Devin hands it to me.
Be careful. It's strong.
I know what I'm doing, I say as I reach for the gun, and ready myself as I point the gun at the water and fire a shot. Pow! I turn and look at Rabbit.
Well, darn. I kind of messed up today. I'm not sure what came over me, but I snapped at a teacher today. It's one of those teachers that can't stop talking to save their life, and they really tested it today. Everyone knows quiet is important to getting work done, except for one person. That person is Mr. Kooklicker, my science teacher. And I'm still not over that name. I swear he's out there to get me. Yeah, just to find an excuse to start with me. When I don't want to do my work anymore and the class is quiet and he's not talking, but the second I go to touch my pencil, he starts going on about like the anatomy of the penis or something. Now don't get me wrong, like I don't really like school. You could say, you could almost say I hate it, but I don't. Or maybe I do. I'm not even sure. Like sometimes school could be the funnest place ever, where everyone's in a good mood, laughing at anything and everything, and everyone gets along. But it's not always like that. And why can't it always be like that? Like, I mean, come on. Teenagers are literally going through so much change during high school. Shouldn't we want to make it fun for them? For me? For us? School life is one thing, but home life is another. And I don't think it's prioritized enough. It's your actual life. And we forget to take care of ourselves when it's the most important time to do so. We experience heartbreak and fall into some unhealthy habits, and it affects us until we're angry adults. An angry adult that doesn't know how to express our feelings. And I'm not trying to point any fingers or say any names, but it sure does sound like some sick, sicko science teacher. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to turn out like that. I'm sorry. Kooklicker gets on my nerves, okay? All I'm trying to say is that something needs to be changed for teenage minds today. With attention disorders on the rise because of overconsumption of social media and the pandemic creating antisocial teens, our brains aren't wired the same as our parents, which makes things outdated in the education system. It's not our fault. What were we supposed to do during COVID? Socialize? Social media was our socializing. Our phone was our life, and that really messed things up. I mean, do I sound crazy, or are these actual points I'm making here? People sometimes make me feel like I'm the problem, but I know I'm not. And if there's anyone else out there that feels the same way, you're not alone. If that makes you feel any better. Have you ever heard that before from an adult? Like, my problem is still there, regardless if someone feels the same way or not. Anyway, but I'm getting off topic. I'm going to finish by saying to all the teenagers out there, just get off your phone and touch some grass. Like, seriously. There's a system set up for you to fail, and you need to realize that. You have a lot of creativity. Use it. Turn it into something beautiful for yourself and your future. You follow your dreams, not others. And one more thing. Do your damn homework, or you end up like Mr. Kooklicker.
I woke up this morning feeling super off. I looked in the mirror. I mean, everything was normal. I was still Spider-Man. But I felt off because of this dream I had last night. So I invited Super Batman over to tell him about it, because he was in it too. And it started out normal, like a normal dream. I was just living my normal life, and you were in it too, Super Batman. And we were both saving the world from villains as usual, but then there was just this one villain who was way too strong. He was a normal looking guy, but with powers no one could stop. I remember we were both struggling to fight him and beat him, but the last thing I remember was him standing over me. While I slowly tried to wake up, he said, "My name is Eddie." And ever since that dream, I've been paranoid, thinking I'm seeing the same person or hearing this person's name everywhere I go. It's just a bad dream. I don't get what you're freaking out about. It's not like this Eddie guy's gonna come to life or kill us or something, you said. Yeah, you're right. Well, so hey, you think I can come sleep over at your house later? I said. Yeah, you said. So then we both went back to his house to hang out. After playing some video games and eating snacks, playing basketball outside, we were tired and we agreed to go to bed. So he slept in the bed and I slept on the couch and we both went out cold. And not too long later, I realized I was in a dream, but it was like I was in control of myself. So it started out where I went to bed on the couch. So I got up off the couch and I went to go see Super Batman and saw that he was also awake. So it was like we were both in the same dream. We were both super confused, but realized that this must mean one thing. That we have to save the world from a super strong villain. Or something like that. So we put on our suits and we went outside to see what was going on. But there was no one in town. Almost like they got evacuated, the whole town, but forgot us. So we went around town to see what was going on. And we ended up realizing there was no one else here. So we went back to Super Batman's house to figure out what was going on. And as we sat down on his couch, negotiating what to do, we hear a knock on the door. Both of us didn't know what to do because we knew we were the only ones left in town. So we decided to both get up and answer the door. And as we opened the door slowly, I see a face I never wanted to see again. It was Eddie! Shut the door, I told Super Batman. Hide anywhere you can. As Eddie kicked the door down and was going through the house to find us, we both hid in the same spot, under his bed, hoping he would end up leaving. But as Eddie walked in the room we were hiding in, I knew we weren't getting away. He was just too strong. After he walked in the room, he walked right up to the bed, like he knew where we were the whole time. But he just stood there at the edge of the bed for like a minute. Until he leaned down and pulled the bedsheet up. And he gave us the weirdest smile. Like, and that's when I woke up from my dream screaming. But I sort of realized when I woke up that I was still in a dream-like state, and I was just in an endless loop of nightmares where this Eddie guy would just come and kill us, and then he'd have to restart every time, realizing that I never escaped.
I'm standing in this gas station bathroom, staring at this positive pregnancy test. A million thoughts flooding my mind. I'm worrying about if I'll be a good mother, if I'm ready for this, and what the hell am I gonna do about school? I have to call Tyla. Tyla, I need to tell you something in person. It's really important. Yeah, okay, bye. So I'm waiting in this disgusting, gross bathroom for Tyla to get here. Oh my God, she takes forever. I need to tell her she'd know exactly what to do. This bathroom is really gross. And of course, this is how I'm finding out I'm pregnant. In a gross, middle of nowhere gas station bathroom. This wasn't the way my life was supposed to go. I want to travel the world or go to frickin' college, but now I'm pregnant. Oh, how in the world am I gonna tell my parents? Oh, I just know they're gonna freak out. They're probably gonna send me away to some facility for girls who don't know how to make the right decisions. I feel nauseous. I can't do this. Why am I still in this gross bathroom? It smells like gasoline and bologna. Two smells that should not go together. I don't know if it's these pregnancy hormones, the smell, or my anxiety, but I need to throw up. How in the world is Tyla not here yet? My parents are going to be worried about where I am. Well, that's the least of their worries for now. Now I'm hungry. What the hell is going on? I'm so tired, and who knows how much worse this is going to get. Oh, my phone's ringing. Maybe it's Tyla. She's finally here. Oh, I feel so relieved. Oh no, what the hell? I can't talk to my mom right now. I'm just in a very vulnerable state and I just might blurt it out to her. Okay, play it cool. You'll be fine. Just talk normally to her. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm just with Tyla. We're driving around. Might go get some snacks and watch a movie later. If that's okay. Yeah, okay. Bye. Love you. That was a close one. Actually, some snacks really do sound good right now. And they would get me out of this bathroom. Ugh. But my legs kind of hurt. And the lighting in here hurts my head. Oh, and where is Tyla? She should be here by now. I need to talk to someone other than myself. Finally, she's here. Now comes the hard part.
Hey, buddy. Want to hear about my dream? Well, your opinion doesn't matter, so I'm going to tell you about it anyway. It started with me looking at my laptop. When I saw a post on some sort of social media, and it was an image of a normal sheep with the caption, "I'm dressing my sheep up today." And I was outraged. Why would you dress a sheep in dog's clothing? To cool myself off, I decided to go for a stroll in my brand new gloves. To my surprise, the first thing I saw when I went outside was a small lamb shivering in my driveway. Being the kind heart that I am, I went to warm it up with my glove-encased hands. As I got close, I realized there were chunks of ice all over its wool. I petted the poor thing a few times, and it was calm at first, but it soon began stumbling away, and I could see terror in its eyes. Strangely, as it stumbled away, its limbs began stretching and contorting, and the wool fell off, revealing a dark, sinister coat. Its eyes were no longer filled with fear, but something else. And I thought, why would you dress a wolf in sheep's clothing? Isn't that crazy? Or am I the one that's crazy? Talking to a wooden monkey. I chose to live here, but I didn't think I would feel so lonely in the middle of the world's loneliest forest.
I go on vacation all the time. It's just me, my dog Eddie, on the way to our old cabin in the woods for March break. But on the way there, I saw a very tall, strange guy on the side of the road, waving at me with this creepy smile. My dog was barking like crazy, but I didn't think anything of it. I just kept driving, but a half a mile later, I saw the same creepy guy waving at me. He was bald with really long arms and legs. My dog started barking again. Didn't think anything of it. But when I saw him again, my heart dropped. My face was pale as a ghost. The same creepy guy was still following me. This time he wasn't smiling, though. He had this crazy, killer look in his eyes. Seemed like he was on drugs or something. He had a dozen cuts on him with one big nasty cut I could never forget. And my dog was scared, it seemed. But I thought I was just really tired from driving 6 hours. I stopped at this nearby gas station to stop and breathe. I went inside to grab some snacks for the road. I got back in my car, and as I looked around, if I could spot the guy again, I looked in the rear view mirror, and there he was, just waving at me and getting closer and closer. Turned on my car, and I just got out of there right away, right to my cabin. It was just another mile or so down the road, and I was in a hurry to get there. When I arrived at the cabin, I grabbed all my stuff out of the car, I ran inside, locking the door behind me. But it was nice for the rest of the day. So, me and Eddie went to the lake and in the back, and then I kept hearing this whistling in the woods. I got worried, and I went back in the house. And then when it got dark, I heard that whistle more and more, like it was following me. I got in my bed, ready to close my eyes, and I heard the whistle again from downstairs. So I got up, and it stopped. Shut off my lights, and I laid down. Oh.
I'm not supposed to tell anyone this, but I'm a superhero and a professional boxer. The only people that are supposed to know are my close family, because I know they won't tell anyone, and I trust them. No one's supposed to know because I want to live a normal life. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I really need your help. I was forced into becoming a superhero by my own father. My father made a deal with someone for me to be a superhero, but I'm really an assassin. My father could make millions of dollars off this deal. The reason I have to kill these people is because many of these people are murderers or did other terrible stuff. At least, that's what I was told. They told me that they were murderers, so I wouldn't back out of the deal. I can't back out of the deal. My life is on the line. And the reason why I know all of this is because the same thing happened to my brother. He was also a superhero and a professional boxer. And he backed out, and he died. The reason I'm telling you this is because we used to know each other. And I consider you like close family. He used to be best friends. We used to be best friends when we were younger, but that was a long time ago. You may not know what I'm talking about, but I'll tell you later. I need us to team up and try to kill my father and the person who made the deal with my father, so I could be free and not have to kill people. Thank you for understanding. My name is Eduardo, if you were wondering.